and commitment.
A number of officers and men of Uganda People's Defence Forces have been retired from active service during functions held in different parts of the country.
07125 Lieutenant
At Makenke Army Barracks 2nd Division in Mbarara, 58 soldiers have been retired. The commanding officer of UPDF 2nd Division Mbarara, Major General Takirwa Francis, who presided over the function, advised the retirees to continue exhibiting discipline, patience and commitment as per their values.
It's up to them. If they think they have retired to go and misbehave, the society will tell them. Because here we've been trying our best to ensure that everybody lives a normal way.
The retirees comprised of 5 senior officers, 1 junior officer and 52 others of different ranks. The function was witnessed by the Deputy Resident City Commissioner Mbarara Aine Christopher, Mbarara District Chairperson Tabaro Didas, among others. In Mbale, a similar number of officers attached to 3rd Division have been retired from active service. Speaking at a function held in Mbumagani Barracks in Mbale District, the 3rd Division Assistant Commander, Brigadier Sake Okolong, cautioned the retirees against deviating from their core values.
The core value of UPDF is discipline. And indeed, we have been able to achieve all the milestones as a result of entrenched discipline.
Okolong was representing Brigadier Joseph Balikudembe. Brigadier General Sake Okolong commended the retirees for their tireless service to the force and urged them to continue building on the firm foundation of the UPDF.
You have been for many years operating in different community settings, and you are going to venture into a new terrain full of new demands. But you should remain steadfast and nothing short of that.
Mbale District Vice Chairperson Tone Wamagale also urged retirees to remain focused as they join the civilian life and desist from actions that would defame their earned integrity.
Our retirees, I want to say that you have started a new journey. And the journey you have started, you have to be focused. Because they are saying you have retired. But for my belief that you have retired, but you are not retired.
A number of soldiers in Masaka were also retired at a colourful function held at Kasagirwa Mechanized Brigade.
Mbadde mbakutira n'okubajjukiza nti nno bwe baba bagenze waliwo ebintu bingi bye bakoze mu UPDF, mulimu disciplines z'enjawulo ze bayize mu UPDF, omuli discipline eya bulijjo, discipline empisa ze bayize.
In more stories, singer Yasin Mukasa has expressed gratitude to Uganda People's Defence Forces for the life-saving care he has received at Bombo Military Hospital after he fell sick in Gulu. Mukasa says his life is now out of danger.
Netandika obujjanjabi obw'eddagala mpaka leero bwe munsanzeeko nga bakola butaweera misana na kiro, tiimu ez'enjawulo, abasajjale, abamedical, ba physician, ba doctors ab'enjawulo nga basula tebeebase okusevinga obulamu. Obulwadde mu kunoonyereza kwabwe baalaba nti ekibumba kyali kifunye obuzibu naye nga tekinnayonooneka, so mbeebaza olw'okunnyanguyira.
Great to see Leo Pazzo out of danger. A section of national resistance movement cadres led by a one-job Richard Matua have expressed gratitude to President Yoweri Museveni for his war against corruption. Now recently, President Yoweri Museveni directed the head State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Colonel Edith Nakalema, to arrest all officials who are allegedly involved in the purchase of substandard relief items at the office of the Prime Minister. They proposed that all the 9 OPM officials who were implicated be brought to book, saying it is the only way the vice will be stamped out for good.
I'd like to give you information of public interest that Lumbuye is in custody of the Turkish authorities with some other Ugandans, and they have been charged with several crimes they have committed or offenses that the Turkish authorities have preferred, including breach of immigration regulations and rules. They will be deported, or they already been deported, and they're en route to Uganda, where they will be in Uganda probably in the early hours of tomorrow morning. I wanted to take this opportunity to assure the family and friends and those who have been following this story closely that Lumbuye, on arrival with his other accomplices, will be received by the authorities, the relevant authorities, and they will be questioned by relevant authorities of the various offenses that they have committed, and some of them have a direct implication in Uganda. I'd like to assure you that they will then be brought before the court of law after being interviewed and after statements being received from them. They'll be before the court of law, and the events will then take its course as to charges brought on them by the DPP. One thing I'd like to inform Ugandans that I have read so much and seen so much hysteria in the social media that if you were brought to Uganda, you might be mistreated and executed. I'd like to assure everybody categorically that Lumbuye and others who will come to Uganda.
Well, we're sorry about that, but that was a story about Lumbuye, who is known as a controversial blogger who will be charged with inciting violence and defamation on arrival in Uganda this Saturday morning, which will be tomorrow. Now, Lumbuye, who has been deported from Turkey, is accused of spreading fake news in Uganda and illegal stay in Turkey. He was arrested early this week by the Turkish police. A section of National Resistance Movement cadres led by Awan Job Richard Matua have expressed gratitude to President Yoweri Museveni for his war against corruption. Recently, President Yoweri Museveni directed the head State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Colonel Edith Nakalima, to arrest all officials who were allegedly involved in the purchase of substandard relief items at the office of the Prime Minister. Now they propose that all the 9 OPM officials who were implicated be brought to book, saying it is the only way the vice will be stamped out for good. Kimono Dokas reports.
When River Nyamwamba burst its banks and caused havoc, including displacing residents, government swung in to rescue and resettle affected victims. However, hell broke loose when the items were found unbefitting, substandard and not good enough for human consumption by Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, who had paid a visit to the victims.
What you don't want to use, you should never give to a colleague. I doubt whether all of us here have a blanket like what they provided here.
This also attracted the attention of the president, who directed the State House Anti-Corruption Unit to weigh in. It is this heightened war against graft that a section of NRM cadres, led by Job Richard Matua, described as a step in the right direction.
Mr. President, sir, we therefore appreciate your effort. Webale munonga, asanteni sana, Bwana Mukuba. Our default ambo midi, Mungu matemibe. God protects you every time.
The team, however, suggests that this kind of housekeeping be propagated to other government ministries, departments, and to weed out what they describe as mafias.
The mafia, the Kaukumid are there. The same mafia are also disturbing the Ministry of Health officials, the minister, the permanent secretary, being targeted unfairly without any empirical evidence of any offense, if at all they claim they have committed any offense. We therefore request you to also not pay blind eyes on the other department, also support officials in the Ministry of Health, officials like in the Ministry of Energy, where criminals have a lot of interest. Mr. President, sir.
They all unanimously proposed that Parliament should render support to the Prime Minister Robina Nabbanja in her endeavours for desired results.
Grant a motion that should thank the Prime Minister so far for the courage, resilience and the zeal that she has exhibited in the fight against corruption in about 100 days. There are less than 100 actually, of her takeover of office. That way, we will motivate her, keep her on track, and encourage other ministers in government to take the route that she has chosen to take.
Meanwhile, the team is not amused with the recent comments made by some Kenyan politicians, seemingly watering down the NRM legacy in as far as promotion of democracy is concerned.
In the spirit of East African community, I am appealing to you, immediately cease the fire, immediately stop attacking NRM or government of Uganda or our president going forward.
Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
There you have it, NRM cadres appreciating President Yoweri Museveni for the war on corruption. Now we'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more news.
When John and Mary were 6 years old, they were introduced to savings by their parents and class teacher. They set dreams inspired by their saving clubs at school.
I'm saving for a ball. I'm saving for a school bag.
As time passed by, the set dreams were achieved, and they were further motivated to set fresh, bigger and better dreams, all of which came to pass.
I'm currently saving to buy a bicycle.
I'm now saving for an academic tour.
Dear parents, guardians and teachers, it is our duty to empower our children and people around us to make reasonable monetary choices and introducing a lifelong money-saving culture. Now is the time to start saving for our dreams and a much better tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the German Corporation, German Sparkassen Stiftung Eastern Africa, and Uganda Cooperative Savings and Credit Union.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Senchu points when you deposit, send and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go. MTN.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. Now, in our business stories, parliamentarians must lead by example by being tax compliant. Now, this appeal has been made by top government officials at the URA tax hub at a parliament that has been going on for a week. URA seeks to boost compliance and rely on the legislators to push for its business formalization agenda in the grassroots.
The taxpayer sensitization initiative of the members of parliament is expected to go a long way in helping in the formalization of businesses and also boosting tax compliance.
So what we've been here doing is to make sure that we enlist members of parliament to ensure that they are part and parcel of the value chain to educate and formalize businesses within their constituencies. And we are happy that most of them are willing to extend this information to their constituency members to educate them why they have to be compliant and why they have to formalize business.
By virtue of being leaders, parliamentarians are key stakeholders in domestic revenue mobilization, especially in the grassroots. In a week at Parliament, URA staff attended to about 250 members of Parliament. Some visited the tax hub for advisory services, whereas others for team registration.
It's very, very important that as legislators, URA takes us through some of the aspects of the taxation laws, especially those ones which the public is always appealing, saying, no, here you are overtaxing, here you're doing what, you know, when they simplify it for you, for around, example, around the rental tax, you know, around e-invoicing the receipts, where we are getting very many problems with the private sector.
Taxation is a complex matter, and so they need to fine-tune their understanding from different professions to be able to appreciate taxation and tax policy.
The Finance Minister, Matia Kasaija, lauded the drive and committed to support the revenue body in its quest of socially and economically transforming the country.
And whenever an opportunity comes for you to pay your tax, please pay it willingly. Willingly. Now, the problem, and let me say this, some people at times misuse the money you give us. And that's what I think also annoys the taxpayers.
URA has in the recent weeks rolled out a 360 degrees taxpayer education approach tailored and focused on key sectors and customized to the needs of the communities. Uganda Revenue Authority had planned for a 2-week tax sensitization drive for parliamentarians and parliament staff. However, a 2-week recess has prompted a postponement to a later date. Dennis Igor for UBC Business.
Well, that's all we have for you for now. Thank you so much for watching UBC News Tonight with me, Sharon Kyomuigisha and Miguel Mohammed in sign language. Stay tuned for more programming coming your way. We'll leave you with the weather forecast with Semba Alex Skin. Good night.
The western sector of the country, including parts of Arua, received some light isolated rainfall in the morning hours. However, in the afternoon, most parts of the country had cloudy conditions that eventually developed into some isolated rainfall across various parts of the country. I'm Sempa Alex came with the weather forecast from the Weather Center. By 9 a.m. this morning, some parts of the country reported rainfall, like Kasese reported 10.5 millimeters, while Kabale reported 7.3 millimeters of rainfall. And the satellite look over Africa shows there is an incoming of moist southeasterlies into a region that eventually will benefit us over the next few days. That will also take on the moist winds that are coming in also through the Congo forests into our region, meaning the western sector of the country will still benefit from that. In the morning, we do expect to see sunny intervals across the skies of most of the country, apart from a few areas along the Lake Victoria shoreline, as well as parts of Arua and Kasese, where light isolated rainfall is expected. But into the afternoon, we do expect a pickup of light isolated rainfall in most parts of the country. And because of this, we to be temperatures to be a little bit cool. That is over the Lake Victoria shoreline, with Kampala at 26 degrees centigrade, whereas in Kabale Highlands at 25, and in Karamoja region at 32 degrees centigrade. And elsewhere across the globe, we are forecasting for London, Mombasa, as well as Paris, chances of thundering rainfall. But for Dubai, we do expect bright and sunny conditions at a daytime high of 44 degrees centigrade, and for Tokyo at 31 degrees centigrade. With that, we wrap it up. Stay tuned and join us again tomorrow, same time.